to thank Teacher Class before I begin with my session for giving me this opportunity, because I really admire the work that they do, because it's a big relief for teachers to get this kind of support. And I welcome you all for this session on developing leadership skills. I would want the session to be interactive. So I will be continuously looking at the chat as I'm speaking to you and presenting my slides. And whatever questions or whatever inputs that you have, please feel free to use the chat, and intermittently, as time permits, I will be taking up these questions and trying to answer them. So on that note, can I get a confirmation? Are we ready to begin? Yes. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting some confirmation here. So let me first share the screen. My screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the topic for today is developing leadership skills. Okay, a very, very important topic, both for educators as well as for developing these skills in educators as well as in students. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you must be having a lot of things to share, a lot of queries in your mind. I would be very happy to answer all of those. First, I'm going to be starting with a question. Okay, so this is a simple question. Are leaders born or are they trained? Okay, so that's my first question. Come on, let me see if I get the answers in the chat. Born, okay. So Rachna says born, mix of both. Skill is developed, both, born. Okay. Great, great. Trained, made, born. Fantastic. So the right answer is both. Okay. Contrary to the belief that we feel that leadership is an inborn quality and leaders are just born, there are cases like that leadership, people are born with leadership skills, but then these skills can be taught. So leaders can be made, very, very surely that can be done. Okay, and precisely that is the reason why we are here, as to why or how we can develop the leadership skills. Okay, so next question that comes to you all is, who's a leader? Come on. Who is a leader? Come on, that's a very simple question. Somebody who leads a group. Okay, Miss Bailey says both, your answer is right. But who's a leader is my next question. Somebody who leads. Leads whom? For what? A motivator. Okay, great. That's nice. Who believes in herself or himself and takes everyone in the team together. Fantastic. Someone who leads and guides as per the requirement. Great. The one who can lead the team. So the key words that are coming is, a leader is somebody who can lead and whom? A team. Okay, so we will be talking about this in a little more details in the slides to come. Who gives instructions to others? Anyone who's confident, anybody who can lead any situation. Great, very good. Okay, so when we think of leaders, so you come across terms like boss, supervisor, manager, monitors, terminologies like this. So all of this somewhere give this idea, or somewhere gives us this hint that probably a leader is somebody who is in a commanding position, and it gives you the sense of authority or the sense of power. Okay, to some extent, yes, but then is leadership all about power? Yes or no? We will be seeing that in a while. Okay, all right. So let's see. So this is what we have in the next slide. Let me explain this to you. So you can see some leaders here. All right. I'm sure you'll identify all of them. So my question was, who's a leader? So a leader, as you all said, is a person who leads. Okay. So let me add some more terms to that. A leader is a person who has a vision, drive, and commitment to achieve that vision and the skills to make it happen. Right? Do you agree? We believe that leaders have to be very confident. They have to be somebody who's really extrovert, who's charismatic, who's dynamic. You know, all of this that actually make up a leader. Okay. To some extent, yes. But then there are so many powerful leaders that we know who are not extroverts, who are introverts, who are shy, but then they're able to lead really well. So we have to break this myth, the idea of leaders that we have, and know that leaders can be developed with different personalities. Okay, so there is no set design or set mold according to which we look at a leader. Okay, because we have so many examples of leaders who are not extroverts, who are not that charismatic, but they're extremely powerful leaders. Okay, so that is very, very important. And how do you define leadership? Leadership is a process of influencing people and providing an environment for them to achieve personal, team, and organizational objectives. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Are we good so far? Can I get some confirmation in the chat? There are a lot of nice answers in the chat. Great. Okay. Yes. All right. So the next question, it's a very important question. Are you a leader? Yes. Okay. So I'm getting some yes. Yes. In my own way. Great. No. So can I get answers justifying or explaining why do you feel so? So I'm a leader because, or I'm not a leader because. Okay, because I believe in myself. Great. Okay, so let's get the answer to this. Are you a leader? The answer should be yes. Okay, because each of us, no matter at which position we are leaders in our own positions. You are an educator, you are a teacher, you are the leader of your class. You could be a department head, you could be the coordinator, you could be, because you know what, even if you are none of these, okay, you are leaders in your own respect, because whatever task is assigned to you, how do you do it? That makes all the difference. Okay, so first and foremost, you have to believe. Somebody said that very appropriately in the chat, because I believe that I'm a leader. Okay, so you have to believe that you are a leader. Only if you believe that you are a leader, you will be able to develop leadership skills in your students. Please understand, break the myth. It's not that leaders are born, leaders can be made. And you are entrusted with this responsibility of grooming leaders, of developing leaders. So for sure, the best way of doing this or developing leadership in students is by modeling it yourself. Okay, so you have to believe that you are a leader. Okay, great. Okay, so why are leadership skills important? Come on. Why do you think a leadership skills important? Why are we focusing so much on this? So you could speak with respect to why is it important for you as an educator, and also with respect to your students. Okay. So today in this session, I'm going to be focusing on both. Okay, leadership skills for you as well as how to develop it in your students. So why are leadership skills important? To create a conducive environment, yes, absolutely. What else? Someone to be made accountable, okay, absolutely. Somebody has to take account, absolutely, right? To lead effectively, to have the idea of the bigger picture. I absolutely love what you said. Okay, so a lot of times we look at a scenario at the face value, okay, and judge the impact of it. And a lot of times we are not able to see the bigger picture, and therefore we kind of somewhere are dissatisfied with an aspect. Okay, so always try to look at a situation, a scenario on a broader vision. Okay, so you will get a better picture and a better impact of it. To grow and to guide, yes, leadership skills are absolutely important. To grow and to guide, to lead effectively. Okay, do you agree that when I'm talking about students, when our students go out in the world looking for a job, do you agree that the employers are looking for leaders? Do you agree to this? Yeah. So, I mean, each of the organization which is going to employ these students when they're out in the world, they're all going to look for whether or not they have leadership skills. So it is a big responsibility on us to ensure that we develop these skills in the students. And as I said, that you'll be able to do really nicely only when you believe that you are a leader. And I don't want you to just believe, because I know that each one of us is a leader. Okay. So leadership skills are important. Now I'm going to actually dig deeper into this as to why leadership skills are important. Okay. So first you have to understand that the environment is changing. When I'm talking about the environment, because we're all educators, I'm speaking with respect to school as an institution. Okay. So when we're talking about school as an institution today, the expectations are enormous. You know that the expectations from the stakeholders are huge, right? And we are expected to meet all of that. So with so much of expectations coming from the parents and the other members, other stakeholders, obviously we are expected to do many things, right? The challenges are many. Also, there is so much of information overload around us. And the most important thing, when I'm speaking about changing environment, the leadership style is actually undergoing a big change. Contrary to how it was earlier, that you had a boss who is to lead the entire organization. So you could visualize it like a vertical system. All right, you have some people at the top or the boss at the top, and then you have different hierarchy levels, okay, for carrying out different functions. That was how the system was. But what you need to understand now is there is a change in that, okay, or the educational institutes are now flattening. When I say flattening, what I mean to say is you have what is called as the career lattice. What do you mean by a career lattice? The systems are more horizontal, okay? It's not vertical like this. So you are, let's say, there are several departments. And why there are several departments? Because there are so many expectations. So each department has to do its individual role. I know for sure that there has to be collaboration between the departments as well. But what I'm trying to tell you is that each of the departments need an individual leader to lead a team of people. Okay, so it's not one principal or one vice principal or a couple of 5, 6 people who can now lead the organization. Okay, so that system is no more relevant to that extent. So what employers or what school management people are looking for are people who can take up more leadership skills, because the system, the school system, is flattened. What is expected is you lead one team, okay, and if you're doing well, probably you're working on a project, and then you move on to another project and lead that project. So the growth is more horizontally and not vertically. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And any questions here? Any questions here? Is this clear? So do you agree that even a school system has now requirement for many leadership positions? Okay? Yeah. So that's the requirement today. And each of us are leaders in our own respect. And how do we develop, build on the leadership skills is what I am going to speak in the next slide. Okay? So when we're talking about quality of a school system, I told you already the expectations are enormous. Okay, but how is the quality of a school system judged, assessed? Okay, this is done on the basis of various parameters which are listed here. So how good the curriculum in the school is, what is the method of instruction, pedagogy, and other things that are followed, what assessment strategies are followed in the organization, what kind of planning and organization is adopted in the school, what kind of a student and a family community support is offered by the school, what kind of a professional development or learning community is there within the school, what kind of leadership is there in the school, and the overall school culture. Okay, so a school is assessed for its quality on the basis of so many parameters. And I'm sure you would agree that to excel and to do justice in all of these parameters is not possible by 1, 2, 5, or a handful of people. Therefore, it is the responsibility of everybody in the school, I mean everybody, okay, the support staff, everybody, to lead in whatever department, in whatever system, in whatever area that they're working for. Only then the entire school system fosters. Okay? Yes, yes. If I agree with what you're saying, if the management has the foresight, absolutely, that's important. Yeah. Okay, so question again for all of you. This is a very simple one. What are the qualities or skills that a leader should possess? And I know that the chat is going to be bombarded now with a lot of qualities. So think about a good leader that you idolize. And what are the qualities that they possess? Or what, according to you, should be the qualities that leaders should possess? Good listenings, absolutely. Gurvinder Kaur. Yes. Confidence, empathy, trust, vision, teamwork, taking risks, good listeners, patience, knowledge, confidence, guiding skills. Great. I knew this. Talking sense, absolutely. Moving ahead, taking others together, very important. Integrity, decision making, perfect. What else? Empathy, bang on. Yeah, that's it. Acceptance. Acceptance of what? Acceptance of your own self and also the people or your team members. Passion. Passion is needed everywhere. I completely agree. Spontaneity, yes. So that is expected definitely from leaders. They have to be original. They have to come up with a lot of ideas. To listen to all group members. Lead by example. Great, great. Decision making, taking risks, understanding others. So it's a huge task. So you can see the list goes on and on and on, right? But then for sure, all these together make up a good leader. All right. So I'm going to be taking some of these, not saying that these are the important ones that I'm taking, but I'll be taking some of these, okay, in my next slide, and let's see how it goes. Okay. All right. So some points that an influencer. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of times, we expect the leaders to be inspirational, influencing people, and expecting them to follow their vision. Okay. may not be always right. May not be always right. Okay. So vision is an important aspect. I'll be dealing with that. Understanding patients, knowledgeable, confident, guiding skills, good leader. And I'm sure all of this will make a good leader. Okay. So what I have on my slide are some of these. Okay. A good leader definitely needs to have vision. Okay. If there is clarity, if they're able to see where they want the school to be, where they want their department to be, they will be able to decide what is to be done. Okay. So you have to know the end product, you have to know the final result that you're working towards. If you have no vision, it's like walking with a blind person. Okay, so this is a very, very important attribute that leaders should have. Okay, I haven't changed the slide, Ms. Tarang. It is vision, team player. I hope you are also seeing the same thing. Okay, so vision, team player, decision making, problem solving, integrity, data driven decisions, and evaluating impact. Okay, I've added triangulation of data. Any idea? Why is data driven decisions important? Yes. Come on. So I spoke about vision. You know that a good leader has to be a good team player as well. Decision making, we know that. Why data driven decisions are important? To have a better assessment, says. Okay. Okay. Agree. Anybody else? 21st century skill to gather information, factual basis. Yes, yes, absolutely. The decisions can be more concrete. Perfect. So you know that systems are not person driven, but they are process driven. Okay. The working of a school or an organization does not depend upon one particular person. Okay. There are systems and processes which are in place, and which is why each department works independently, and collectively what they put forth is what is the final outcome of the organization. So data driven decisions means we take decisions on the basis of data and not on your personal bias. A lot of times people go wrong in their decisions because of their personal biases. But when you depend on data, data, because there's so much of data that can be obtained from a school. Okay, so how do you use this data, whether it is the student attendance, whether it is the student scores, whether it is how they do in the inter-school competitions, what is the number of participation, how are they doing in sports. So there is so much of data that is generated from a school, but are we analyzing those data? Are we taking decisions on the basis of what the data tells us? Okay, that is an important quality, an important skill that we look at leaders. Okay, evaluate impact, triangulation of data. Any idea what is triangulation of data? What is triangulation of data? Any idea? Come on. What do you think is triangulation of data? So I'm sure you understand what is evaluating impact. To analyze exactly the situations, yes, that is correct. And how do we analyze exactly the situations? So let me give you an example, okay? If I tell you that teaching would be much more effective if the number of students in the class are less than 20. Do you agree or not? Okay. So everybody thinks yes, yes. Okay, but what if I tell you that the impact of the number of students, please understand what I'm saying. If the impact of the quality of education on the, no, I'm sorry, the impact of the number of students on the quality of education is not as much as the impact of motivation for the students or of the students. Do you agree? So what I'm trying to bring to your notice is, a lot of times we think that maybe having lesser number of students in the class would be better, would have better impact on the quality of education. But the data, the research does not say this. Okay, it says, in fact, the impact on the quality of education is better with motivation and other parameters, not as much on the student strength. So that is why evaluating the impact of a situation to get the correct assessment, as somebody said, is a challenge. And you cannot just decide the impact based on your personal beliefs. Okay, so always go for data-driven decisions. So triangulation of data means at least taking the data from three sources, triangulation, okay, from three sources. So if I am talking about quality of teaching in my school, if I want to assess that, okay, so what could be the data that I could gather? I could, one source could be to assess the quality of teaching in my school. I could assess it on the basis of the student scores. I could assess it on the basis of my teacher of lesson observations. I could assess it on the basis of what kind of planning, lesson planning that goes on. You understand what I'm saying? So to assess what is the impact of teaching, I'm not relying on one source, but I'm looking at three sources and then analyzing the impact of that. Okay, so that is triangulation of data. I hope it is clear to all of you. Yes, it increases credibility. Absolutely. That's the right word. Yeah, so shall I move ahead if this is clear? Okay. And so this is Steve Jobs. And he says, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Okay. So this is very, very important. And this is what is required from a leader, okay? To think differently, to come up with new ideas, okay? To bring a different perspective. That's what people are looking at when they're looking at leaders, okay? So this is a simple flow chart that I thought I will explain quickly about why, when we speak about leader, vision is the first thing that we lay emphasis on, that leaders should have a vision, a proper vision. So this tells you exactly how do we come to the vision statement. So let's say if we are talking about the school head, okay, and if I'm deciding the vision statement for the school, it depends on what are the value systems of the people involved. What are your personal beliefs? So let's say if I'm talking about the head of the school, so if I think that kindness is very, very important, my vision statement of the school would always say that, well, I would want students to display kindness because that is my core belief. If I think that academic result is very, very important, you will have the vision statement of the school, of the organization saying that, you know, to ensure that our students excel academically. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is values and beliefs play a very vital role in deciding the vision statement of the organization. And therefore, it is always recommended and advised that the vision of the organization is not decided by one, two, or a couple of people, but it is important to get inputs from variety of people and then come down to the vision statement. Okay, because it should not be based purely on your own personal values and beliefs. Okay, so your values, as I said, impact your vision. And if you say that I want my school to do this, that would give you the roadmap. What if I want my school to be the best school in this particular area or to excel in sports? That'll tell you what should be the mission. Mission is how will you get there? How will it be the best school? How will it excel in sports activities? So I know that to excel in sports activity, what should I do? So values give you vision, and vision in turn tells you what should be the task at hand, the mission. Okay, so that's how it is. And when we're talking about whichever level that you're working at, we could be school leaders, we could be department heads, we could be supervisors, managers, we could be educators, whatever level that you're working at. So we have to see that our vision, so my personal goal or my personal vision has to be aligned with my organization vision. That's very, very important. So if I say that my personal goal or my personal vision is, maybe I would want to excel in terms of my technical skills, okay, to be able to impact student learning. So somewhere my personal goal is in alignment with my department goal, and which in turn should be aligned with the organizational goal. I hope this is clear. Value is very important. I agree. Requires a proper roadmap. Absolutely. Yes. So everybody speaks about leader leading a team, leader leading a team. Okay, so let's now talk about each of us, all of us wanting to be groomed with leadership skills. Okay, each of us aiming, trying to reach higher in terms of leadership. Okay, so first thing is we need to get the team correct. Okay, so when we talking about getting a team, a lot of time, depending upon the goal, people are put together who think alike, okay, who have the same objective, are put together in one team. Sometimes it may work like that, sometimes it may not. So you may have a lot of times a diverse group of members in your team. So what is important for you as a team member? See, now you'll have to look at yourself as a team leader as well as a team member. Okay. So if I am a team member, you need to know that you have to spot people, the right people, who would be able to discharge some responsibilities properly. Okay. So when we're looking at people like that, when I say that get the right people on the bus and build a strong team, so you should be able to analyze, identify members in your team who could discharge different responsibilities. When I say this, you should also keep this in mind. You will have some people who are stronger and some people who are not as strong. So you should be in a position to assist, to coach them also. Okay, so you cannot let some members in the team, let aside, saying that okay, they are not going to be contributing in any way. Leadership fails there. Okay, so you should be able to develop trust, build a rapport with all of them, and take everybody together. At the same time, you have to be able to identify spot talent in the team. Very, very important. Okay. Now, when you form a team, the team, this is something that each one of us has gone through. Okay, so whether you are in your subject team or together as teachers in your school, one team. So whenever a team is formed, it goes through 4 stages. Always. Forming, storming, norming, and performing. Very interesting this is. Forming, storming, norming, and performing. Forming is when the team is formed, just formed. So members are brought together. All right. Storming, a little bit of chaotic stage, wherein people don't know each other. They're trying to find out about each other. There will be conflicts. There will be arguments. They would not agree to each other. One would say that this is the way it should be done. So that stage in a team is called as storming. Okay. Norming is when people start to understand each other, they know each other, they start respecting each other. So that is normalizing. So that is the third stage when in a team, which is norming. And after norming is the performing state. That is when the team actually delivers. Okay, so whenever a team is formed, so even you as an educator, when you form a group in the class with your students, you form a small team or a big team, so you know that it has to go through these 4 stages. There will be initial conflicts, complaints coming from the student, and then they normalize, and finally they will give their output. Okay, so how much each member or how long each stage takes in a team depends upon the team members and also the ability of the leader. If the leader is strong, okay, probably the time taken or the time wasted in storming and norming would be lesser, and the team directly, would be able to go swiftly from forming to the performing stage. So that depends upon the experience and the ability of the leader and the team members. Okay, so why is this slide important? Because these things are there. So you cannot, when you put in a team, you have to work together, finish a project, finish a task. You cannot be saying that there are so many conflicts, there are so many confusion, people are not accepting each other. You have to understand that this is normal. It has to go through. Okay, but the sooner you come out of the situation, the better for all of us. Okay, so that's why this slide is important. So what are the basic team skills? As I told you, you have to look at yourself as a team leader as well as a team player. So let's say I am a team member, and what does a team leader, or to become a team leader or to become a leader, what are the basic team skills that are needed? Okay, now this is important. Trust. So you are a team member. First thing is, whatever task is assigned to you as a team member, you have to finish it in time. Okay, meet the commitments, maintain confidentiality within the team. Very important as a team player. Coaching. So as a team member, are you using your skills and experience to coach others, to assist others? Is what is required in a team. Are you able to communicate properly within the team to ensure that the task is getting done properly? Are you flexible? Are you adaptable? Or are you rigid? Are you working well within the team? And the basic thing, good manners. Do you respect each other in the team? Do you thank each other for the help or the assistance that they do? So these are basic team skills. So when you are a team member, whether or not you're a leader, these are skills that leaders are expected to have. So you have to start from here. I first finish tasks on time. I help others. I'm coaching others. I'm taking initiative. I'm trying to help others. This is what is the requirement today to be a leader. Okay? That's about developing leadership skills in educators. So I spoke about us now all this while. The remaining part of the session, which is just 10 minutes, is going to be how to develop leadership skills in students. Okay, very important. And I'm going to quickly take you through this. Okay. So to develop leadership skills, I'm sure all of you must be doing a lot of things in the class. There must be so many activities that you people must be conducting. Let's have some examples in the chat. So what do you do to develop leadership skills amongst your students? Come on. There are some that are there on the slide, and I'm sure there will be some more better ideas that come from you all. What do? Freedom to express and give your opinions, absolutely bang on. This is such a valuable point. Peer activities, yes, peer activities. And I'll add to that, peer activities with peer assessment. Let them assess each other. So you're giving them power. Motivate them, give responsibilities, perfect. Show by example, very good. Peer teaching, yes. Peer teaching, um, I would rephrase it probably in a better way. Peer teaching could be one of the aspects. Any activities involving students, okay? Group activities, peer learning with collaboration, buddy system, great, great. So there are so many things, okay? So we know that we have student councils in the school, we have farewells given by one class to the other, wherein all of the entire event is managed by the students, okay? The simplest way to develop leadership skills among students is to give more of group activities and to nominate leaders. So when we give group activities to the students, you know that a lot of times if we give the ownership to the students to decide that who the leader will be, um, most of the time it happens that the same child is the leader. Okay, so you can give that kind of a choice to the students, but also be vigilant that if you see that the same child is getting the opportunity every time, then you have to intervene and say that now this activity, I will decide who the leader is. So everybody, please ensure every child needs to be developed with these skills. Okay, consciously, you have to have that in your mind. So allow them to make mistakes. Okay, if they don't make mistakes, who else will make, and when will they learn from their mistakes? Okay, so allow them to make mistakes, but give the opportunity to, allow them to take turns when it comes to leadership roles. Encourage originality and creativity. A lot of times creativity is misinterpreted with artistic abilities. So I am not a creative person, Baba. I don't know to draw. Okay, I am not creative. I'm not good at art and craft. Okay, so that's not what creativity is. Okay, creativity is the ability to look at a situation in a different way, a new perspective, a new idea, original thoughts. Okay, out of the box thinking. All of that is creativity. So, do we create situations in the class? Do we ask what questions or what if questions more? Okay, so change the type of questions that you ask in the class. Okay, you could give a case study, you could give some problems and ask the students to come up with solutions. It could be something simple as, this is a rubber band. Okay, other than tying your hair, what are the other possible uses of this rubber band? Okay, so students will come up with a lot of things. Uh, if they, you can say that I want each of you to come up with some ideas. They may come up with 1, 2, 3 ideas, and sometimes you have to invest that time in the class that go further. You say that, oh, I'm greedy, I need more ideas, so let them come up with 10, 15, 20 ideas, and believe me, you have to invest this time sometimes in your class. Okay, and you will get better ideas if you give them that time. Okay, so you have to let students understand, make them understand that deeper thinking would result in better ideas. Okay, not that what comes instantly to your mind may not be always the best idea. So that thought, that also needs to be told to the students. Okay, give constructive feedback. Feedback is a very, very important aspect of leadership. Okay, the feedback that you give to your students, or the feedback that you expect from your authorities. Okay, so as I say, if I am expecting a feedback from my authority, I expect it to be a constructive feedback. I want them to tell me, how can I improve? Okay, instead of only telling me, where am I wrong? So when it applies to you, it obviously applies to the students as well. So to develop leadership, it is important to give constructive feedback, timely feedback, and frequent feedback. It's important. You have to tell them, okay, this is something that you did really well, but it could be done better like this. Okay, so that is important. Motivation, somebody had already said this. Yeah, motivation goes a long way in developing leadership skills. See, a lot of us felt when I asked you, are you a leader? You said no, because you think that leaders are special people. Okay, so you have to break this thought and motivate your students that each one of them can be leaders, are leaders. And how do we do that? By motivating them. And how do you motivate them? You give them examples of people You don't have to give them examples of people who are really powerful, really successful. Give them examples of ordinary people who are not that extrovert, who are shy. So Arunima Sinha, give them the examples like this. If they can do, so this will give the motivation to the students. Talk about ordinary people becoming successful as leaders. Okay, that's important. Communication skills, very, very important to develop leadership skills in students. Okay, so give more opportunities, have more debates, have clubs in your school, TED clubs, and all those things work wonderfully well for developing communication skills for students. Developing empathy, you can have design thinking projects, a lot of projects to real world problem solving projects to develop empathy. Resilience, very important skill for leaders, because whether you're a leader or on the process of becoming a leader, you will come across situations where you will fail, you'll go wrong, you'll make a lot of mistakes, people will criticize. So how do you handle all those criticisms, failures? Do you break down, or do you stand up, stand strong to face the situation? That's important. So it is, who else will teach the students? It's our responsibility. Okay. So this is my last slide. Okay, and it says this, as leaders, the 6 most important words. I admit I made a mistake. This is important. Each of this is important. Leaders can make mistakes, and there's no harm in admitting that I made a mistake. You, in fact, become greater by admitting. Okay, the 5 most important words, you did a good job. So, motivating your team members. 4 most important words, what is your opinion? Please get the opinion of everybody in your team. You cannot enforce all the time what you have in your mind on the others. 3 most important words, if you please. That's how you get your work done. The 2 most important words, thank you. Very important word. And the 1 most important word is we, and the least important word is I. I hope you all agree with me. So that's from me.
Thank you, Shaila ma'am. Thank you for lending your time to us.
Thank you.
Feedback form is being circulated in the chat box. Kindly fill out and let us know how did you find this session. And please register for more of the sessions. You will get this information on the website, teacherclass.org. And if you all have any questions, please let us know in the chat box in the next few minutes.
So I think the participants were extremely interactive. I absolutely loved the inputs. And I would thank you all. Yes. I hope there are takeaways.
Kayuri ma'am, if you missed out any of these points, you can watch it again on our YouTube channel. Every video is available on our channel because it goes live. So you can watch out it once again if you miss anything due to some internet or any other issues. Okay, then if you all have no questions left, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Shaila ma'am.
Thank you, and goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Have a